Now, family, this presentation right here is titled The Melanated Body Appearing Essential. Before I get started, how y'all doing in Houston? All right. I want to thank y'all for having me. This is my first time down here. You know, pretty sure everybody knows that because y'all ain't never seen me down here. So, you know, with that being said, it's always lovely to come somewhere different. Before I start my presentations, I learned I have to give disclosures because you got people who feel emotionally entitled to their opinion, which is cool. I don't do opinions, you gotta do facts. So before I get started, if you white, you're friends with white people, your girlfriend's white, your husband's white, this may not be the environment for you for about the next 3 hours. That's all I want to say. I'm very pro-black. I'm not unapologetically African, I'm hardcore African. Hardcore. So that being said, I gotta let everybody give y'all fair warning. Don't say you didn't know, you know. I don't give a damn about how you feel. So that being said, the exit is right there. Everybody all right? Right. All right, I'm telling you, because you got people that get up like, that ain't right. And it's like, come on, bro, you know where you at. You know where you at. So that being said, the disclosure has been given. Now we're getting ready to start. So, this lecture right here is titled The Melanated Body Aquarian Essential, family. The point of this presentation is to teach you the advanced understanding of your vessel. So what do I mean by that? You are not your body. That's one-on-one. That should be the first thing you teach your child. Not ABCs, not none of that. The first thing we teach our children and ourselves should be you are not your body. Because once you have that proper perspective, you actually have a proper thought process. Thank you. You have a proper thought process in regards to the interactions of your brain and its frequency on how you should actually be viewing life. See, a lot of us look in the mirror every day and you say, I'm ugly, I'm fat. You are not your body. You can't be ugly. You can't be fat. So you don't get in your Honda and say, damn, I'm a Honda. No, it's your car. This is your car. This vessel is decorated and manifested in regards to your thought, to your psychological understanding on yourself, yes, but yet it is not you. So when we want to talk about even Buddhist monks, you want to say, how do Buddhist monks not feel no pain? They could set themselves on fire and don't flinch. Because a Buddhist monk understands he's not his body. So therefore he doesn't inherit the physical experience of his body. Now I'll give you an example. How many of y'all watch a scary movie and you see somebody get stabbed and you cringe like, ooh, you ain't get stabbed, what the hell is you cringing for? So this goes to show you that you can inherit the experience of something outside yourself as long as you accept it within your realm. So when you say, if somebody hit you with a stick, the first thing you say is, you hit me with that stick. So your brain immediately processes the experience of what it's like to get hit with a stick. But if your thought process would be, you hit this body with that stick, as crazy as that sounds, you wouldn't process the pain of that stick. Now this is not something that you're going to do today. You're not going to walk out of here and say, go hit this body with that stick, get hit with a stick and think it's going to fit. Because that's been your incorrect thought process for years. But if you can train your mind to think on that accord, let's say maybe a year, 2 years for some, everybody's different, then eventually you will start to do what they call transcendent physical realm. So outside of the correct mental premise that you need to have as a being on this planet Earth, we want to break down the science of what it is to be black. See, black ain't just about no red, black and green, puffed or black face. That's not what we're doing today. We're going into the science of why it is highly divine for you to be seated in this particular vehicle at this time during what we call the Aquarian Ascension. And at the end, before I end it, family, I don't know if y'all been hearing me refer or bring up the goddess Anastasia, who's right here in the front row to the right. Raise your hand, please, so Queen, so everybody can see. This is the goddess who does natal charts, and she's a beast. A beast. A beast. When it comes to this astrology, she'll tell you your past life. You can go get your husband, your wife, natal chart. She'll tell you who you was to them, what y'all did, what y'all soul mission is. I don't care if you get shot. Give her the day you got shot. She'll tell you where the planets was and tell you how you got shot, how it was supposed to happen, everything. She did mine. She's a beast. I would not refer nobody that's not the truth. So when we want to deal with astrology, we sick of newspaper astrology niggas. Niggas gonna tell you one thing about your sign. No, we want people that's gonna get in depth. So getting into this lecture without wasting no more time, on my last slide, I'm gonna have her come up and do her thing for a little bit just so that y'all can see. And y'all, if y'all want to get her information and link with her, She ain't cracking the people's heads. She's very affordable. She'll do your whole goddamn life for you. She'll take your natal chart, tell you where the planets was at your birth, and then she can take today and tell you where the planets was today and how that afflicted and affected you today. And I promise you, I'll give you your money back personally if she ain't right. So she's the truth, the motherfucking truth. I can curse in here, right? Yes, sir. The motherfucking truth. I'm comfortable now, shit. She's the motherfucking truth. All right. So with that being said, shit. Let me stop now, okay. Let's get to the first slide, family. What is melanin, right? Because this always coming out black people's mouth. Melanin, 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 melanin. But then if you ask somebody, what is melanin? They can't tell you from a factual basis. What I mean by factual is scientific. Not nobody's cute sounding vernacular or opinion. So today I'm going to tell you exactly what melanin is. Melanin is the ethereal and physical substance which connects our spiritual and physical bodies to the universe. Y'all follow me? Mm-hmm. Melanin is the ethereal substance which connects our physical and spiritual bodies to the universe. Now, you have 4 types of melanin. So even just saying melanin, it's levels to this. You can't just say water. What kind of water? Salt water? Fresh water? Rainwater? It's not just one type of water. So when it comes to melanin, there's layers to your being. Now we're dealing with the #1 form of melanin, which is the original melanin in its original form. This will be what you call cosmic melanin. So pretend this was a universe outside in the background that you see at night. This is the primary source of all melanin content on any planet. I don't give a hell if you go on a spaceship, go through 3 time wormholes and jump 5 light years. The melanin that you find in that galaxy 5 miles away has come from this cosmic melanin. Now this melanin exists in a plasmic ethereal form. So what you gotta understand about the universe is one big ball of potential. So all of that black out there can potentially become whatever you think of, because your thoughts are interconnected to the quantum universe, as I'll break down. So think about our solar system. You got the sun, you got the 9 planets, and you have our body of life in which we live. Once upon a time, this was not here. This was just the womb, the cosmic womb of etheric being. And at this particular location in the universe said, damn it, I want to have a physical experience. So it gave birth to a sun, which gave birth to planets, and now we're here. But at one point in time, this was nothingness, just like all the rest of that black out there was. So the universe is constantly expanding because it's constantly giving birth to new life. All of them little dots out there, family, because I want y'all to expand your mind. All of them little dots out there are individual suns. Stars are suns. So when you say star, immediately in your head, just say sun. So think about our sun and our 9 planets and all of the life that we have, and then multiply that shit by all of these stars that you can't even count. So understand how vast the universe is. We're not the only people here. We just the only people that got white people bothering us on our goddamn planet. But we're not the only goddamn people on no planet. Because I'm ready to leave this bitch. I am. Aliens come get me, I can't fuck with Earth. I cannot fuck with Earth. Them niggas is actually, they got John McCain running around that bitch. So, with that being said, I want y'all to understand the power of melanin. Because what you are came from this. Now next, I'm getting ready to heat up. Get this water in me. Getting ready to go ham. Okay, now next you have planetary melanin, not human melanin. Now I like to state my points to the T. I don't want you leaving out here like I ain't really understand what he. Human is African. When you hear young Pharaoh say human, I am most definitely excluding everybody that's not African. Not on accident. I don't want you to think I meant some shit. Maybe, no, hell no. If you're not African, I'm not even talking to your ass. So it's gonna be like watching a Zoom tan commercial. I know y'all ain't talking to me. When the white people say, come get a tan. I just turn the mother, I don't even watch it. I know you ain't talking to me. So I need for everybody in Africa to know I ain't talking to you. Now we dealing with science. We not dealing with it because niggas like to say hue means colored, and I'm not dealing with that. That's lingo. It might be right, it might be wrong. I'm dealing with science. According to science, all non-Africans are only 73% human being and 7% Neanderthal. So that being said, they are multicellular organisms. which I'll be going into. Only those of African descent are 100% human beings. This is science. So with that being said, when I say human, I'm talking to African people, Negroes, African Americans, niggas, thugs, hoodlums, whatever name they got. That's who I'm talking to. So with that being said, planetary melanin is the second form of cosmic melanin. Now, melanin is condensed sunlight. Now, I'll be breaking down the science, step by step, of how melanin is solidified through the sun. So don't worry, family. I'm not going to tell y'all nothing that I don't hold your hand and walk you through. Now, number 3, the third form of melanin is plant melanin, and science is called chlorophyll. Now, if you don't know, humans, when I say human, think of African. If a Japanese person pop up in your head, you're wrong. You got crackatosis in my setting voice. Human, African. So humans and plants have the same exact biochemical molecular structure. The only thing that we have different from plants is literally one chemical. We have iron in our blood. Plants have magnesium. If you were to take the magnesium in the plant, take the iron that's in our blood and switch it, we would literally have chlorophyll, and plants would now have our melanin. So think about that, family. All things that's natural can be traced to the cosmos. White people don't have no goddamn receipt from the cosmos. We don't know where y'all came from. So when we're dealing with the science of melanin, I'm going to smack everything right here, because you got so many people who keep saying, white people got melanin. No, they don't. They don't have what we have. This is why they're dying under that sun. So I need for black people to understand the importance of who they are, because this is the source of white supremacy. White supremacy is not about because you jump higher and you smart. That's not white supremacy. White supremacy is not worried about LeBron James. They're not. All he gonna do is dunk a ball. White supremacy is worried about niggas getting information. Because once you get information, then you no longer become reliant on misinformation. So with that being said, we gotta understand the science of ourselves. That way we can no longer be deceived. You can never drown a fish. You know why? Because the fish knows it can breathe underwater. You got niggas that don't know the power that they possess under the sun. So we keep getting deceived to go every which way, because we don't understand that we're turning our back on the Creator. Right here in the most powerful environment that we can exist in, which is a solar powered environment. So we're dealing with the fourth type of melanin. Now we bring in the Europeans and the Asians and all the niggas and women that cool niggas like. Alright? Now we can bring them up. Now the fourth type of melanin is pheomelanin. So you got cosmic melanin, then you got planetary melanin, which is neuromelanin and uromelanin, which I'll be going into. Neuromelanin is produced within the neuromelanin nerve tract of the brain. Key word in there, neuro, it has neurons. It transmits neurological signals from the brain through what is called dipple antennas. I know y'all writing, I'm trying to talk slow, because it's hard for me to talk slow. They transmit neurological brain signals out of what you call the dipple antennas, which is located in between the internal and external layers of the skull, out into the cosmos. You are literally hooked up into the planets, which I gave another lecture called Spirit Science, Introduction to the Higher Self, which I went step by step on how each planet regulates bodies, bones, blood circulation, eyes. If I was to go smack Saturn, because Saturn regulates your skeletal system. If I was to go smack Saturn 2 degrees off, damn it, your arm would be like this. That's a fact. So the planets are like the hands on the puppet master, and your body's the puppet, and your chakras are the strings which connect you to the ultimate puppet master, which is the universe. So coming back to this, neuromelanin connects you mentally to the solar system. So you wouldn't even be able to pray if you didn't have neuromelanin. Or in this case, meditate, because we don't pray to nobody. But y'all know what I'm trying to say. You wouldn't even be able to, the person that you think you talking to, you wouldn't even be able to send your goddamn intent if you didn't have neuromelanin. Now why is it important? Because white people ain't got no goddamn neuromelanin. So this goes to show, even if you have a creator, he ain't even leave you no goddamn phone to call him. He just abandoned, and we don't want your ass, so call him back and tell him to come get you. Now, with that being said, when we dealing with animal melanin, this is why animal melanin is so important. Pheomelanin. Pheomelanin, family, I'm going to say it one more time, is animal melanin. This is why animals don't meditate. They don't do the shit we do, because they're stuck on a certain frequency of existence. Now, the melanin that we have, as you can see at the bottom, this where it says molecular formula, C18H10N2O4, aka carbon 18, hydrogen 10, nitrogen 2, and oxygen 4. This is literally the physical formula for melanin, or the chiral content that exists within the top layer of our skin, in science is called the epidermis layer of the skin, which allows us to absorb 432 terahertz of frequency from the sun. This is literally the beginning of the love frequency. So when we're dealing with what y'all call solfeggio sounds, if you don't know what solfeggio sounds is, solfeggio sounds are literally octaves of electromagnetic waves, aka musical notes that when played at certain points, let's just say points to keep it simple, you literally cause effects on your biological self. So 528 hertz helps to put you in the heart chakra. 578 hertz helps to heal your DNA. And I can go on and on and on about all the solfeggio sounds, but I just want to break down how different sounds literally change you genetically. Now, black people are able to absorb the entire electromagnetic spectrum of the sun, which I'm getting ready to show. But after I go off this, I'm giving y'all the blueprint. After I go off this slide, I'm going to start going in. We are able to literally absorb the entire electromagnetic spectrum of the sun. Now, why is this important? The sun is literally sound frequency. It's radio frequency. Radio frequency is electromagnetic waves being transmitted, carrying specifically sound messages. So in the Bible, when it says, and God said, let there be light, technically that's true because the universe literally spoke the sun into existence. So you have to understand, we're able to download the entire voice of the cosmos. Your ears are only programmed, or let's say manifested to hear 20,000 hertz of noise. The universe is about 20 trillion hertz of noise. So the universe is so loud, you actually can't hear it, but you can still digest it through your skin. This is why when you go outside and you feel like, damn, something bad gonna happen today, and you get a bad vibe, that's because you're digesting the vibrations that's in the atmosphere. This is not no pseudo, this is not no coincidence, this is not no spooky shit. This is the biological components of melanin. Animals do it to a certain extent too. This is why when you see a flood, you don't never see no animals coming up the street dead in the flood. You see niggas in PlayStations floating up the street. Because niggas is in tune with the game. Animals is in tune with the frequency. So when we dealing with melanin, animals just having a little bit of attunement, let's say with the universe that they have, has such a perception to where they can perceive a storm coming. Imagine ours if we were to just utilize it and eat healthy and actually get back in tune with nature. Imagine how in tune you would be if you use the cryptochromes in your eye. Now a lot of y'all might say, damn, what's a cryptochrome in my eye? Cryptochromes are small neurological cells that exist in the eye that actually allow you to see Earth's electromagnetic grid. And weather is controlled by Earth's electromagnetic grid. This is why the heart machine is put at the North Pole, because all of the ley lines of the planet Earth come out of the North Pole and wrap around through the South Pole. And just like plucking strings on a guitar, if you weaken a certain electromagnetic grid, it'll actually dictate the weather. So it'll dictate the density, but that's another lecture for another time. But with that being said, you can actually see that if you get in tune and develop the ability through your eye. This is why sun gazing is so important. This is why white people make sure you don't get no sun. Even if it's a roof on this church, right? I mean on this, this building right now, to keep a certain amount of sunlight away from us. Even the cement on the wall. Cement is the only physical substance that can stop photons. Photons is pure light. Photons is antimatter and matter combined. So with that being said, you live in a fish tank. I tell people that all the time. This shit is a jail. You don't gotta be in prison to be in prison. It wasn't until I went to prison and I got out and I said, God damn, I was already in motherfucking prison. God damn. So with that being said, before I go to the next slide, because I want people's minds to be open. Because you can't digest the truth with an egotistical understanding, with an individual agenda. Truth don't come through your personal wants and needs. The universe don't give a fuck about you. All these goddamn stars out here and planets out here, you think the creator is focused on your ass back here? No. Give a fuck about you. So that being said, or me. So we gotta keep a spiritual openness. So with that being said, family, you got cosmic melanin, which is ethylmelanin. Then that melanin physically condenses and becomes us, humans, Africans, which is this molecular formula down here. So this is categorized as neuromelanin and uromelanin. Then you have plant melanin, which is chlorophyll, and then you got animal melanin at the bottom. So plants is more blacker than white people. I want y'all to understand the significance of this shit. All right? So white people right now, due to this Aquarian ascension, which I'll be going into at the end, is actually killing black people and extracting our melanin. Because like I said, melanin is condensed sunlight. This ain't no shit you can grow off the ground. So how is white people getting melatonin pills, and where's y'all getting melanin from? Because y'all damn sure ain't get it through the sun. This is why Egyptians call themselves children of the sun. Because they understand that we were miniature solar systems. So what white people is doing is they're actually selling melanin. Melanin is the highest soul substance on the planet. It's worth more than gold, platinum, potassium, copper, silver, anything you can think of. Melanin has more of a numeric value in the white man's world than any other element on the planet. They're selling melanin for $356 a gram. Now, if you were to add that up, 150 pound, I don't know how much I weigh. Let's say I weigh 150. Me, 150. I would be worth $28 million. So somebody that's 300 pounds is worth $56 million. Dead, not even alive. So, just like they fatten up the sheep before they take them to the slaughter, they fattening up niggas. That's why it's a McDonald's every 10 motherfucking steps. That's why it's a Wendy's every 10 motherfucking steps. So you can have a heart attack. Nigga, whether you die naturally or unnaturally, they gon' sell your ass. So if you don't believe me, niggas do all this black history research. When in the history of history have niggas cut you open and did an autopsy upon your death? Never. Not never. They shoot a motherfucker in the head. Boom, this Houston, Texas. They go down in Houston, Texas. Motherfucker get shot in the head. Bam. We know the cause of death. Bullet to the goddamn head. What the fuck is you in this man's chest for performing an autopsy? Because when you die, they say, boop, give me them organs, give me that, give me that, give me that. And they hustle you. So niggas is being hustled every day. Grandma died tonight, grandma passed. Sweet little grandma, they selling grandma. They selling grandma. That's not grandma in that casket. Grandma whole shit gone. So y'all gotta understand, family, we being harvested. This is a hustle. White people hustling your ass your whole life, and then when you die, they cash that check. Can't wait. So black people understand white supremacy and its actual roots. Now with that being said, we finna jump this off. I hope y'all understand melanin to a more detailed degree, because I'm finna go in. Y'all gonna have to rock with me. We going slide to slide. Let's do this. Okay. How does ethnomelanin become physical? See, when we're dealing with the spirit, or physics, as I broke down yesterday, if y'all was in my lecture yesterday, metaphysics is the study of science before physics. Meta means beyond, and of course physics is the study of all tangible objects, to keep it short. So, physics is the study of tangible objects. Metaphysics is the study of that which is beyond tangible objects. Y'all follow me? So with that being said, you cannot study physics if you don't study metaphysics. That's like studying ice and not studying water in its gas form. That's ass backwards. You cheating yourself. So with that being said, we're dealing with us physically on a biological scale. We have to understand how we even got to this physical, biological component in our lives. So don't worry, young Pharaoh got the answers for you. Now with that being said, this is the electromagnetic spectrum. This is an electromagnetic wave, and this color spectrum right here represents the middle where it says visible light spectrum. All of y'all can see that? In between ultraviolet and infrared. This is called the visible light spectrum. Now usually you read from left to right. I got this going from right to left. So we're going to start from over here where it says radio. Everybody see that? Now radio, the definition of radio is electromagnetic waves carrying specifically sound messages. So this is when the universe began to literally speak. Remember, the Bible is a Masonic book which records extraterrestrial interaction with the beings on this planet Earth, as well as genetic engineering, as well as astrological phenomena. So that being said, the Bible in Greek means holy, and holy in Greek means helios, and Bible in Greek means biblios. Helios means sun, biblios means book. The Bible literally means sun book. So all the shit in there is allegorical. Jesus, the 12 disciples of Jesus is actually the zodiac signs, and Jesus is the sun. So when it says, and God said, let there be light, there is some truth to that. So that being said, this is where God would have said, let there be light. So when the universe, which is a giant female, if you don't know, which I'll go into, because it's predicated upon electrons, and electrons are feminine energy, and science, positive and masculine, does not mean good or bad, it means masculine or feminine. Protons, not photons, protons are masculine, electrons are feminine, and neutrons are neutral. Together, all three of them make up an atom. The universe is predicated upon electrons, it's feminine. That's why people want to refer to Kemet, and they look at me stupid when I say the black woman is God, and they go, how you studying Kemet? You don't understand the simple format of why Newt was even a female. So that being said, this is when Newt, the cosmic mother, said, you know what, I want to have a physical experience. This is when she began to spoke. Now as you can see, this wave begins to condensate. Now let me tell you how this process happens. At 432 hertz frequency is when physical reality begins. Now what is a hertz? You might say, Pharaoh, what's a hertz? I'm going to use the analogy of beating a drum. A hertz is just how many times an electromagnetic wave can come in contact with itself. Now you got 4 levels of hertz. Outside of hertz, You got kilohertz, megahertz, gigahertz, and terahertz. So kilo is 1,000, mega is 1,000,000, giga is 1,000,000,000, and tera is 1,000,000,000,000. Every per second. So 1 kilohertz will be me hitting the drum 1,000 times in 1 second. So 2 kilohertz will be me hitting the goddamn drum 2,000 times in 1 second. So 1 megahertz will be me hitting the drum 1,000,000 times in 1 second. 1 gigahertz will be me hitting the drum 1,000,000,000 times per second. 1 terahertz will be me hitting the drum 1,000,000,000,000 times in 1 goddamn second. So remember, the sun is so powerful, its velocity is on the level of terahertz, which we in the trillions. So at 432 trillion terahertz, the sun is vibrating itself so goddamn hard, it's literally becoming physical. So imagine if you could hit a motherfucking drum 432 times in 1 second. That's how powerful the sun is. And we ain't even at the end of the goddamn spectrum. We only in the middle. So once the sun get to vibrating, you motherfuckers watch Dragon Ball Z, type Super Saiyan type shit. Once they get to charging up, I'm telling you, once they get to charging up, and they get to 432 terahertz, it starts to literally manifest itself on the physical plane. So when we say shit don't just come out of thin air, yes it do. Technically it do. Everything is just predicated upon waveform, which I'll be going into. Because I'm going to actually show y'all how to shift dimensions. Each dimension is only separated by 90 degrees. This is where the original cross come from. That's why it's just 180 degrees from north to south and 180 degrees from west to east. Together those create 4 90-degree angles, which create 360. And I'm going to go into the science, that's what don't work. But with that being said, family, the sun literally vibrated itself into existence upon spoken word. Now once you get to the visible light spectrum, down here where you see the red, this is from 405 terahertz to 480 terahertz. 432 terahertz is where things become physical. So anything underneath 432 terahertz actually possesses intelligence, but it's just not physical. And this is what you would deem a ghost. This is what you would deem a phantom. This is what you would deem a spirit. So this is not no shit that is magical. This is just things the black community has negated to teach itself because we love history too much, so we negated science. You cannot negate science. They go hand in hand. So that being said, when we want to talk about spirits, because I'm going to be talking about astral projecting, understand your soul, which is an electrical charge, which vibrates underneath 432 terahertz outside this physical chamber. So when we're dealing with what you call chakras, chakras by definition are just energy vortex centers located within a meridian, which just means the center of the body, which input and output electromagnetic frequency, aka the electromagnetic waves of the sun. So the sun has its own chakras. Through quantum physics, we can prove that sunlight is intelligent. This is why people who live the closest to the sun on any planet are always the advanced beings. This is why African people are the advanced beings, because we live not only underneath the sun, we live by the equator. So we have 2 sources of electromagnetic generational activity that we conduct within our body. So that being said, melanin, right? 432 terahertz. The electromagnetic wave is vibrating everything in physical existence. Once you get to 480 terahertz and you pass that level of vibration, you get to 510, it becomes orange. And then the sun keeps vibrating and so on and so on and so on, and it's creating colors. As you can see, these are the colors of the rainbows, aka the colors of the chakra. Hence, the first level of the sun is red, the last level is purple. Your first chakra is red, your last one is purple. Everything is all synchronized with, you are synchronized with your celestial self. So once you get to 790 terahertz frequency within it, and we still right here, family, we ain't even went nowhere. We still right here in the visible light spectrum. Once you get to 490 terahertz, so once that sun is hitting itself 490 times every 1 goddamn second, so you do the math, because I can't do it off the head. If 10 seconds go by and the sun smacked itself for 790 terahertz every 1 second, you multiply that and see how many terahertz that is, how much power that is. And then let's calculate how long the sun been up there, and you actually see how powerful that motherfucking sun is. So with that being said, once the sun exceeds 790 terahertz frequency, it begins to solidify and become black. So y'all can see right here, the electromagnetic wave is more space. But as the sun begins to vibrate higher and higher, it starts to condense. Y'all see that, family? So when you get to about gamma rays, after gamma rays is photons, remember photons is pure light, it becomes melanin, which is the molecular chemical form of melanin I showed. So when we say melanin is condensed sunlight, this is the science behind that. So when the Egyptians say we the children of the sun, this is the science behind that. So our origins is cosmic. So I don't understand why niggas keep looking on the ground, but where they come from, bitch, you need to be looking up there. That's where you come from. That's the problem with black people. We keep looking for the physical realm to validate our existence when we the ones who, you don't look for your shoes to validate your feet. The shoes go on your feet don't go on the shoes. So, with that being said, we're going to keep it kicking. Now, we deal with numerology. Whether you believe in numerology or not, it's a fact. It is what it is. Shame on you if you don't understand the science. So with that being said, the sun in diameter is 864,000 miles. 864,000 miles in diameter. Now, in order to find the radius of a circle, which is just the point from the middle to the edge of a circle, you divide that number evenly into itself. So 864,000 goes evenly into 2,000. If you divide 864,000 miles by 2,000 miles, guess what number you get? 432. This is the same number that physical reality starts. This is also the same number of the love frequency. So if you was to go to the middle of the sun, it will be 432 miles in radius. Love frequency starts at 432. All of this is not by coincidence. It's all about being interconnected. Now if you add 4, 3, and 2, you get 9, which is born, which is manifest. Every 90 days is a new season. Black women carry a child for 9 months. I can go on and on and on about the number 9, which I will do when I get to the slide with the number 9. So that being said, I just want y'all to understand, family, the significance of being black. Being black, see, niggas got black history fucked up. Being black ain't about, I was the first motherfucker who created a hot comb. Nigga, that's not black history, that's nigga history. You know what I'm saying? We gotta let that shit go. I'm serious, y'all, because this shit has plagued us for the longest. Yes. You ask your fucking uncles and your aunts, tell me something good about being black. Don't you know we invented peanut butter? Oh, get that shit out my face. Get that shit out my face. Oh, why you can't tell me that I vibrated into existence? I'd rather hear that. I'd rather tell a black child, don't you know that everything you are come right out the motherfucking stars? Versus, don't you know niggas invented the Jerry curl? Get the fuck out of here. That's not nigga. You don't want to hear that. That's nigga history. Rosa Parks went to the back of the bus. It happened, but people did more gangster shit than that. Motherfuckers talking about Rosa Parks refused to have a seat. Queen Zinga killed about 500 motherfucking crack. I'd rather hear about Queen Zinga than a motherfucker who refused to give up a seat. You still with the job. You refused to give up the seat. And I'm supposed to be back in that shit. That ain't disrespecting Rosa Parks. Nobody want to hear that shit. We don't. We want to hear real black power shit. And that's going to come from the soul. Not nigga history that white people allow us to hear, because that's not inspiring. And when you say the youth, why the youth don't care about being conscious? Because they do more gangster shit than Rosa Parks every day. I was in jail doing some turned up shit on them Europeans. They had never put what I was doing in the books. I was throwing piss on them, violate. So we don't want to hear that. We want to hear who we really are down to his quantum wave. We don't want to hear nigger history. That's nigger history. So with that being said, this is not about nigger history today. Now, next slide. We want to talk about how our melanated bodies create. All right? We understand we vibrate to existence, right? Boom. Now we want to say, black people, how did we get here? Because white people would never give you that answer. White people is the most knowingest, non-knowingest motherfuckers I've ever seen. They know everything and don't never know. The motherfuckers will tell you how many light years we are from this, that. And when you ask them the origin of that, they say, we don't know. We just assume it was a big bang. Well, bitch, you don't know this? How you know this and you don't know that? What are you talking about? My shoes were just tied. How you put them on? I don't know. That's white people. I'm telling you, this is how they teaching us. And this is why we're not interested in science, because they never give you the foundation. They'll tell you genes mutate and become this, and chromosome, and homosome, and lomosome, and home alone. As soon as you say, well, white man, where did I come from? We don't know. We believe it was a monkey. We never get the fuck out of here. You don't want to hear that shit. So you might as well throw all this shit off the table, because I can't validate it as fact. But don't worry, Young Pharaoh has through extensive research, and I have yet to be refuted. Yeah, listen, I promise y'all. If I don't end white supremacy, because I'm gonna try it. If I don't end white supremacy, my work will last for life. Aliens will have to come get my work, like get this nigga shit. It was so sacred. It was so sacred, I promise you. So with that being said, I got y'all step by step on where we come from. I dare a motherfucker. Go get a Harvard nigga, NASA, whoever you think can fuck with me, go get them, because they can't fuck with me. Now, the black people, this is where we come from. Boom, the sun is here, right? Now, imagine these planets are not there. Y'all see these orbital rings? Yeah. These are just layers of the earth, of the sun's magnetic reach. So now let me give y'all an example, because I'm finna get deep on y'all. This physical realm that we live in is our specific guidelines. So what do I mean by that? I gotta go back a slide. Our sun, we are underneath the law of light. Everybody that's physical is underneath the law of light. Now I said this yesterday, I'm gonna say it again. It's a medical condition called solar paralysis. If you don't know what it is, I'll tell you. Solar paralysis is when your ass get paralyzed every day from 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. So from 12 p.m. when the sun is at its zenith, which is its highest point in the sky, as it starts to go down, your ass starts to go down. And when it hits 12 a.m., you literally lose control of your body. And you don't gain control of your body until the sun starts to come back up at 12 p.m. This is you know why people love to say it's a defect. It ain't a defect. They the ones who suffer from it. But I'm proving my point that your body runs off the electromagnetic current of the sun. The sun is your battery, family. That's your battery. So the same way your phone died because it can no longer conduct electrical charge, that's the same thing when you die. The definition of death is just the permanent termination of the biological functions which sustain a living organism. I'm going to say it again. The permanent termination of the biological functions which sustain a living organism. They didn't say you died. They said your biological functions can no longer sustain you. That's it. So your phone ain't broke because the fucking battery died. You put another battery in there and come right back. So understand, you are the phone. So when we're dealing with light, family, it's so important that you understand this because this is only our law that we follow. I'll give you an example. Our sun, let's say our sun is 5 on the scale size. Okay, 864,000 miles in diameter, right? You got suns out there that's 5,000 times bigger than our shit. But we're going to be simple. We're going to say 100. You got to multiply that 864,000 miles in diameter by 100. Because now that's the diameter of this new sun. But guess what else you got to multiply? The terahertz frequency of that new sun. So if red is from 405 terahertz to 480 terahertz, multiply that, both of them numbers by 100, you don't know what the fuck color that is. You don't know what color that is. So when people be having dreams, because I don't know if y'all study people who come out of comas and the shit they say that they seen, because I definitely do. You got so many people coming out of comas talking about, I went to this star system and I seen planets, colors, but I can't describe them. That's because them colors don't exist in our spectrum of light. Our spectrum of light travels at 186,000 miles per second. If you go get a sun that's 100 times ours, you got to multiply that speed by 100. You don't know what the fuck is going on a planet that's underneath that sun. Everything has to be multiplied and amplified. So when we're talking about an alien is just another life form. Because I'm going to show you how atoms become molecules, molecules become cells, and so on and so forth until they become an organism. When you talk about an alien is just a cell which is seated underneath another form of life. So I got my garden, you got your garden. If I put this much water on my seed, it's going to grow this way. This much sunlight is going to grow this way. If you put a certain amount of water on yours and a certain amount of sunlight on yours, it's going to grow that way. Both them trees will be alien to each other. They will look totally different, have totally different biological components, but yet they both still trees. So motherfucking, this is not no spooky shit. This is science. We can look at another planet, calculate the beings on that planet, predicated upon how much sunlight they're subjected to. White people do this shit all the time. So let me get back on my slide, family. Feel me? And I want to just drop a little individual jewel. You know, my queen, she brought me a telescope for my birthday, man. So I feel like a little white kid when they get the telescopes, I went right the fuck outside. I said, bam. And I hit the moon. I can see the moon, family. Now listen, let me get iterate y'all. Not know the shit, no. If some shit ran across the moon, I can see the motherfucker. I can see the cracks in the ground, the craters. I can see this bitch. Y'all, listen, next time I come to Houston, I will bring the telescope. If y'all don't believe it, y'all gonna be like, oh shit. Like, it fucked me up. Now this telescope, I don't even think is $500. Imagine what these crackers is seeing with $20 trillion telescope. Okay, I'm seeing, I'm telling you. I just want to just pick a day and just watch the moon all day. I promise you, I think I'm going to see some shit run by. So imagine what the fuck they can see. So they looking at shit, man. They looking at shit. And we need to get to looking at shit. Niggas are spending, I think niggas, instead of spending all this Christmas money, niggas need to build a telescope. And that shit, niggas might say, Pharaoh, that sounds stupid, nigga. I'd rather get my J's. No. We need to get right on the same fighting line is the enemy. If the white man build a rocket, nigga, we need to be building a rocket. Fuck that. If he build a telescope, we need a telescope. I'll watch the bitch all day. You can go to the club. Don't go to the club. I'll report. But let's just get the motherfucker. So with that being said, this is why. Because beings of planets and galaxies manifest every day, which any astrologer will confirm. They say new shit just come up. They be looking at some shit just whoop right out the wormhole. They don't know what the fuck it is, and they watch it. But they know what it is. It's exactly the process that I'm finna tell you. So now we got the sun, right? The sun then vibrated into existence. Now these planets are here. Now these orbits are just how far the sun's gravitational pull is. This is why when you go out of space in a spaceship, the sun pull on you so much, but once you get out of that gravitational field, or the Earth's magnetosphere, you can just be floating and get lost in space because you have exited the field of gravity. Now, this is how planets are created. I'm finna break down step by step, but I'm also finna show you how you are created. Ionization, right? To become ionized, when an atom becomes ionized, just means that it becomes charged. Now I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna use the first two elements. The first element is hydrogen. The second element is helium. Now, everything in space is neutral, which science will confirm. Because I want to give y'all a tip. I want to give y'all a jewel that don't nobody give y'all. Question, and y'all can answer this. Does the sun shine on the earth, or does the earth attract the light of the sun? Okay, now. So we know the solar system is matrilinear. Even men, you be walking up the street, queen walk by, you be like, you know what I'm saying? You bust a look, because she attract the light of the sun. Yeah. So even for you to think that the sun shines on the planet Earth, nigga, you have a misconception on where the fuck you live. The iron in the Earth's core attracts the electricity and magnetism from the sun. Because if that's the case, the sun is just shine everywhere and blind every fucking body. It don't do that. The sun is just one big ball of electricity, and a planet attracts its electrical charge and it shines on that goddamn planet. That's it. Simple. So we gonna have to recorrect that perspective. But with that being said, I'm gonna show you how that's done. Boom, I'm an atom, I'm neutral. A piece of sunlight strikes me, bang, I become, in science they call it radioactive. Radioactive is just a big ass unnecessary word, which means unstable. So now the only way atoms become stable is when they give away electrons. So electrons, for those of you who don't know, y'all might have hated science, I got y'all. Electrons is them pink things that be on the outside of an atom. Now atoms can only hold up to 8 electrons. Now why is this important? Let's say I'm a helium atom, right? I got 2 electrons. So I'm gonna give you, damn, I wish I would have put the damn periodic elements tables chart in here. I'm gonna do it next time. The periodic elements tables chart, that big complicated looking ass chart that don't nobody know how to read. I'm gonna tell y'all how to read it right now. You don't read it going across left to right. You read it going up and down, from north to south, which is up and down. So this might be, if you next time you look at a periodic elements tables chart, it's gonna have numbers at the top. It's gonna say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then it's gonna start over, right? All the elements in row 1 are just the atoms or the elements, because elements are just different kinds of atoms. All the elements or atoms in row 1 just tell you that they only have 1 electron. All the ones in row 2 just tell you that they have 2 electrons. All the ones in row 3 just tell you that they have 3 electrons. And they go in order of their creation. So hydrogen is the first atom which has 1 electron, and then from hydrogen came helium which has 2 electrons. This is why helium is in row 2 at the top. Y'all follow me? So now I'm an atom, right? I'm a helium atom, and a piece of sunlight strikes me, bang, and I'm radioactive now, I'm shaking, I'm jiggling. In order for me to get stable, I have to give away an electron. So if I give my electron to hydrogen, hydrogen now has 2 electrons, so it upgrades to helium, and I downgrade to hydrogen. You follow me? So this is how chemical elements are created. Sunlight strike atom, boom, this atom might have 4 elements, that motherfucker say, damn, I gotta give away 3. And that, whatever it give it to, that upgrades to an element. And that shit kept happening so much, now we got the periodic elements table chart. Y'all follow me? So now we dealing with stardust, right? Stardust, as science like to just, white people love giving shit insignificant names. Like it don't matter. There ain't no such thing as no goddamn dust, because stardust is no dust out of space. What is you talking about? Stardust is just a cute word to say elements and also genes in cells, because it's a fact that you get your genes from the sun. A lot of people in here have already came across the understanding that we're made up of trillion-year-old carbon elements from exploding stars. This is how this is done. Stardust, right? When I say stardust, I want y'all to have it in y'all minds. Elements, cells, bacteria, everything, anything biological. The sun manifests that through the ionization process. Now what happens is, suns get the, as I broke down the terahertz frequency, you've been smacking yourself 50 million trillion times per second for 5 trillion thousand years. After a while, you get motherfucking tired. And you explode. Boom, supernova. Now what happens is the force from this explosion of the sun pushes all of that goddamn stardust that you've been sitting there creating with them atoms for all them trillions of years, trillions of miles across the galaxy. Now let's say that drum over there is a star. Boom, it explodes. Now I'm my own sun, and I'm doing my thing. I'm vibrating. I ain't got no planets yet. I'm just chilling. All of that stardust come to me, and they get caught inside of my orbits. So what happens is, the same way you put fruit in a damn blender and make a smoothie, same way you get a planet. All of the stardust begins to spin and rotate around me and start blending the motherfucking together. That's simple. So what happens is, it's like baking a cake. Planet Earth don't just jump off the rip hard. It goes through a warm biochemical state, just like baking a cake. Now what they don't tell you in science is during that biochemical state, the planet Earth is seeded with what is called prokaryotic cells. This is the cell that becomes the black one. Don't worry, I got y'all. We're going to dab on their ass. I got y'all. So what happens is, during this biochemical state, the Earth is cooking. You get the Earth's cores, lava, all the crust is forming, all of that pretty shit. Rivers and dams, everything. What they don't tell you is, human life is also forming and seeded here too. So when the Egyptians say Nut, spit herself onto the ground and became Tefnut, what they really said is exactly what the fuck I just said. The universe manifested the sun, which is Ra, which helped to spit Nut, which is the black woman on the face again. So don't worry, baby. Science proves history. I got this. Now, prokaryotic cells are important. Why? Because the white man, the one that's never the right man, always want to tell you you're a eukaryotic cell. Now, if y'all get a chance to grab my lecture that I just did in New York, grab my genetic reincarnation lecture, because I went crazy in there. I showed step by step the genetic engineering process of the white man. I showed the restriction enzymes that was used to snip the DNA. I showed the electric shock. I showed how long it took. I showed the incubation cubes, which is called ectogenesis. I showed it. I showed the motherfucker. And I ain't even show it on my YouTube. Y'all see that video I made called White People Are Not Human? Yeah. I ain't even really dropped no science. I just gave y'all the layer. They took that bitch down. Took it down and wrote me like, nigga, you got 2 strikes. And they gave me 2 strikes out of 3. They said you got 2 strikes. This is hate. They said this hate speech. Anything else, we terminating your page. Wow. I wrote them bitches back. I put every link I could in that bitch. I said this is not capital letters hate speech. This is science. I put all the links in there. Nigga, give me back my video. Take my strike down, nigga. Now that being said, eukaryotic cells are multicellular organisms. Now, when you find a dead amphibian, a dead frog, it goes in the amphibian category. When you find a dead lion, it goes in the feline category. When you find a dead snake, it goes in the reptile category. When you find a dead monkey, whether it be chimp, gorilla, 50 Cent, whatever nigga that claim whatever. When you find a dead monkey, it goes in the Neanderthal category. Now why is this important? A Neanderthal is a totally different species from human. So white people are made up of eukaryotic cells. Eukaryotic cells just mean multicellular organisms. Them motherfuckers have dog DNA. Yeah. That's why they smell like wet dog, and I've showed that. I can't go into it now, bad as I'm ready to do it. They got dog DNA, specifically wolf. They got monkey DNA, and they got a little bit of our DNA from the albino. So, and them motherfuckers got fruit fly DNA and yeast DNA and mouse DNA. I can bust a white person down to his cell. I kill it. I'll make him kill himself. So that being said, they're the eukaryotic cells. They're the multicellular organisms. Now why is this important? Oh, if you are not of African descent, you are not 100% human being. Only Africans are 100% human being. We're prokaryotic cells. We're single cell organisms. There is 0% of any other species in our DNA. Period. So white people are still brainwashing niggas with science. They got you learning the biology of them and applying it to your silly ass. And these niggas be believing evolution because you believe the biological premise of a white person. That's not you. That's not your blood type, silly nigga. You just spent all that money to go to school to get this goddamn degree for nothing. For shit. All you did was learn the biological makeup of a European and apply it to your niggerish self. So, don't worry, young Pharaoh has done the research. Now, while planet Earth is spinning, it's rotating, boom. It's rotating around the sun. It's in this biochemical state. Prokaryotic cells are being manifested, and guess what they become? Well, let me get my clicker back, right? Oh, all right, here we go. First, before we go into what prokaryotic cells become, I want to show y'all what is a prokaryote. Now, this is according to public information. Like I said, I got 2,000-page medical books at home. I'm not bringing that here to show each and every one of y'all individually what it said. Don't got enough time for that. So what we're going to do is we're going to use everyone's #1 source of information, Google, where anybody can look it up. If you feel like this shit ain't real, this real says some shit I don't really believe, look it up. Pull your fucking phone out right now while I'm on this bitch and try it. So with that being said, procurios. Now I'm using this because I want to show y'all what the white man is willing to admit. Now, if the white man give me an inch, I'm taking them out. What does that mean? The white man says evidence of prokaryotic cells is found as early as 3.9 billion years. What I read was they 5 trillion gazillion years old. That's what I read. Because he ain't going to tell you the truth. But going with what he's willing to admit, do y'all know how long and how old 3.9 billion years is? That's a long motherfucking time. So the cells that make up African people is damn near 4 billion years old according to the white man. So this shows you have an ancient genetic background. So you niggas be so stuck on, let's say Egypt, nigga, that was yesterday. That wasn't that long ago. What the fuck was we doing 3.9 billion years ago? Nobody want to talk about that. So with that being said, what are prokaryotes? Now let's go into definition of prokaryotes. Prokaryotes are cells that can be classified into prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Prokaryotes are considered to be the first ever living cells. Pause. The first ever living cell. Not no tree. That bitch ain't say a fucking bacteria, a shrimp in the ocean. It ain't say a bird in the sky. Nothing else. It said prokaryotes are the first ever living cells. And guess who prokaryotes are? Black people. So we was the first thing kicking on this bitch. That's why our DNA is found in everything, including animals, but no other animal or being outside of us contains our DNA. Because we the father, when we say the fathers and mothers of civilization, that don't just mean niggas. That means everything. Everything. If trees are the third levels, if plant melanin, chlorophyll, is the third level of melanin behind us, that means goddamn it came after us. 3 come after 2 and 2 come after 1. That ain't rocket science. So, continue on with the definition. The first ever living cells, and are thought to have organized from protozoans. They are in the kingdoms of Monera, which is simple bacteria, and Archaea. And Archaea fossils, which proved to us that Archaea and Monera have evolved somewhere between 3 to 4 billion years ago. Done. Now that's according to the white man's timeline. Now, this is for niggas who just skeptic niggas. Skeptic niggas. Because I get skeptic niggas I had a nigga ask me today, Pharaoh, you got all the answers. Well, the nigga asked me 15 questions in one. How are we going to get out of oppression and stuff, the chemtrails and the GMOs? I said, when niggas like you get the fuck off my stat and start doing something. So, with that being said, this is for skeptic niggas. Why were they the first form of life to appear on Earth? Okay? And even when we're dealing with life form, life is just your living process and form is just a shape. And your life form is predicated upon your waveform, which I'm going to be going into. Now, niggas say, ooh, Pharaoh, you always saying extraterrestrial. That's pseudo. That's pseudo. This is what white people are talking about in their laboratories. See, I don't argue with on the corner niggas. Not on the corner niggas. We talking about white motherfuckers with lab coats who have trillions of dollars of technical equipment to back their claims. Now these white coats, as we call it, magically come to the same goddamn conclusion I've come to. So, when it says, how life first appeared on Earth. Guess what it say? Extraterrestrial. Not Jesus, not Allah, not the Easter Bunny, not none of these niggas that y'all like to worship. It say extraterrestrial. So even if you want to be cute and say Pharaoh, well, there's no being that's an extraterrestrial. Let's go to the etymology of the word. Extra means to add on, terra means earth, astral means the astral plane. So even if we're not talking about a being, it's still a fact that your cells, your prokaryotic cells were created in outer space and seated here. So nigga, biologically, you are still considered an extraterrestrial. I'm done. I got this. They can't fuck with me. Now that being said, let's see what they said, what the white man said. Extraterrestrial. There is evidence that suggests that life did not originate from Earth, but from outer space. In 1969, a meteorite landed near Allende, Mexico. After close observation of the meteorite, The meteorite was said to contain amino acids, a molecule that is used to create proteins, the basis of all life. Your DNA is made up of 4 different amino acids. That means this meteorite came here with somebody else's biological signature on it. So that's like if I spit on a rock, and somehow that rock leave the atmosphere and go land on another planet, and they find my DNA. So this is what white people think. So niggas is talking about I'm a Hebrew and I'm Jeshua and all this, and white people was in the lab talking about niggas are aliens. Period. I'm being real. So we gotta get our shit together. We got our shit wrong, family. You out here in the wrong shit. We arguing, you charged with murder, you in there arguing robbery. Nigga, that ain't the charge. Argue the charge. So I want to show y'all the significance of a prokaryotic cell, according to the white man. Because I don't know, I said it yesterday, I don't know what's wrong with niggas, but we don't believe each other no more. No. I got whips on my back and I'm telling you, they out there, they whooping our ass. You still can go out there like, ain't no white man out here and get killed. It takes for a white man to come say, don't go out there, Bill, they're out there acting crazy. For you to be like, it's dangerous outside. So I don't understand. I can tell you, I can calculate the speed of the sun traveling at 70,000 kilometers around the galaxy. I can calculate all that. I still cannot figure out why niggas don't believe niggas. I don't know. So with that being said, let's keep it kicking now. Here we go. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Now this might hurt your ego, but that's what it's supposed to do. That's what it's supposed to do. That's what I'm here for. To fuck your ego up. To tear that shit right down. Now, before I say this, before I make my point, I want to say this to black men. I love being a black man. I will come back every goddamn lifetime as a black man if I can. I'll look exactly how I look now if I could too. But with that being said, the reason I crash on patrilineal niggas is because you stopping us from doing our job as a race. Now, I go to Egypt because that's where niggas like to go. That's the only reason I go there. I can go back further than that. But I go to Egypt. Pharaoh, right? Even though my name is Young Pharaoh, we're going to be, because I don't teach from an egotistical agenda. I teach the truth, whether it's in my favor or not. So that being said, in Star Wars, the word Jedi was stolen from the word Dahij. Now Dahij, according to motherfuckers who say the hieroglyphs has been translated, a Dahij is a bodyguard of the Pharaoh. Pharaoh comes from the Hebrew word per-o. Pharaoh per-o. In Hebrew, that's translated back to the Kemetic word per-ah. Per-ah literally meant high house. Now what these niggas have not told y'all for the last 80 years, and I'm saying 80, I'm going to 1920s till today. Or maybe a little further, let's give them 40s, 80s. 80 years about, approximately. What they have not told y'all is the word Pharaoh literally translates to per-ah, which meant high house. Now guess who ruled the high house? The woman. So niggas will tell you Egypt was a matrilineal society. That's it, they won't say shit else. They'll run right from that. Now, the Dahij was the bodyguard of the Pharaoh. So the black man was the bodyguard of the high house of the black woman. Now what they don't want to tell y'all, because when I go in on the 18th, I'm going to murder everybody in the room. It's a rap. I don't know what you niggas been teaching for 80 years. Y'all got to find a new hobby. Because it's a rap. It's a rap for this shit from everybody. Black men were the bodyguards of the high house of the black woman. Now Kemet was built by black women. They don't want to tell y'all that. The Sphinx was actually a black woman. They knocked her nose off and put a beard on her. If you don't believe me, go research the beard. It's in the Cairo Museum right now. The motherfucker fell off. So people say the Sphinx name is Hiram Haket. No, the Sphinx name was originally Tefnut. Niggas changed it to Hiram Haket. So niggas tried to wipe the matrilineal system off the map. And that's what's wrong today. We trying to wipe the matrilineal system off the map. Now when we say why did black people live according to a matrilineal system? Because the woman was here first. That's it. It's that simple. It's not about kissing no ass. It's not about being no house on the couch. Woman got you by your damn tie. None of that. It's about order. You were here first. We respect that. This is why you rule. That's it. That goddamn simple. So, Egypt, the same way the president is the face of the country. We know that nigga don't run this country. We know the elites run this country. Yeah. That was exactly how Egypt was. Nigga, you are the face. We running this. When we say make that happen, you make that happen. Period. Now, it wasn't no bully shit going on, but I'm trying to give y'all the true system of government. White people are patrilineal. Black people are matrilineal because we understood the science of the universe. The universe is predicated upon electrons. Electrons exchange and build atoms, not protons. So even the universe is feminine on an atomic level. And on a biological level, the first organism ever was a female. So this is why African people lived according to a matrilineal system, because we understood the science of the goddamn universe. It was not about being in your ego. So when niggas come with that man, and even when niggas say it was always, no, it wasn't. Because this is what I hit niggas with when they say that. And I can hit anybody in here with it right now. I ain't trying to hurt nobody's feelings. But women too. Raise your hand, because we all know we made up of chromosomes. Watch this. Raise your hand if you know the specific name of the chromosome you're made up of. Uh-oh, no hands go up. Now we should know that. So niggas say they got knowledge of self. Nigga, you don't even know your own genetic makeup. Talking about you got knowledge of self. Nigga, if you was dying and I said, listen, tell me your chromosome so that I can make you an antidote to save you. Niggas would be like, I don't know. I don't know. How you don't know your shit? So you don't have no knowledge of self. Now, luckily, young Pharaoh is here to teach, not preach. Women are made up of metacentric chromosomes. Those are the two big X's. Men are made up of sub-metacentric chromosomes. That's the one big X and a small Y. Now the Y is smaller than the X because the Y is the X minus 2.8% of its own self. Hence, this is why they even use the letter Y, because the letter Y comes after X. Now with that being said, sub, when you look at the definition, means to substitute. So you are a genetic substitute of your original self. That don't mean we less of a man. That don't mean we a weak man. That mean we was manifested because we had an agenda to carry out, which was becoming the protectors of the high house. So when you beat your black woman, when you mistreat your black woman, you are literally mistreating your motherfucking self. Because I got one more jewel I'ma drop for niggas before I continue on. You get your skin from your mother. So everybody in here technically is a girl because we all got girl skin. Uh-oh, damn, so nigga homophobe. I ain't no bitch, you talking to me like, well, technically you is a bitch, nigga. Yes, you is. Yes, you are. Yes, the fuck you is. Yes, you are. So, we have to get out of this misconception about who the fuck we is. That division, that dualistic shit is a white man's perspective. The divide and conquer, to put the man against the female. When we understood we was one, that's when we ruled. Now we so busy trying to fight for power over the household, we can't even control our goddamn household, let alone talk about some black world, black planet. Nigga, your wife won't even cook you no dinner. Y'all can't stop arguing. You talking about some black power. Nigga, you get your couch right. Get your shit, get your kitchen right. So with that being said, we got to get back to the proper understanding of ourselves. Now atoms become molecules, which become cells, which become tissues, which becomes organs, which become organ systems, which become organisms. And I just showed you, science said the first living organism, the first living cells is prokaryotic cells. This is the prokaryotic cell. That's it. Her right there. Not Yeshua. Not none of the motherfuckers you pray to. And even if they is real, guess where they came from? Her. So, it's a whole sacred science of our black queen family that we have to get in tune with. It's a sacred science. And we cannot keep negating this science. So when young Pharaoh said the black woman is God, nigga, I don't do that from an egotistical, oh, some on my screen. I don't do that from an egotistical point of view. I do that from a scientific point of view. Let me make sure this charger and this time some 10% left. Oh, we don't need that cutting off. All right. So when young Pharaoh teach the black woman is God, this ain't because I like black women that much that I'm going against black men. No, this is because black men, we've been lied to too. We've been lied to like a motherfucker. Period. Now, melanated bodies are generated by melanated women. I just proved beyond a reasonable doubt, and I dare a nigga to try me, and try me in a realm that black woman wasn't here first. I promise, I bet my soul to the devil if I lose. That's how confident I am. For 3 lifetimes in a race. My next 3 reincarnations, I'll be white. If I lose. That's how confident I am. That this shit is the truth. That's how confident I am. So, now that beyond a reasonable goddamn doubt, I have proved that black women was here first. We have to understand where the body comes from, because we're going back to the shell. Because remember, you are not your vessel. So, melanated bodies are generated by melanated women. The black woman is organic and receives her genes directly from the cosmos, from the sun. This is why everybody on the planet Earth can be traced through what they call the mitochondrial Eve gene back to the black woman, but nobody can trace the black woman's genes. See, this is what I call nigga science. Nigga science is when you only can say some shit and can't back it up. So niggas will say, everybody get their genes from black people. And then when I say, where black people get their genes from? Froze, the sun, man, the cosmos. So, after now being manifested into physical form, she now goes on to give birth to the melanated slash human family of the planet Earth. Now look at our black queens right here in Mama Africa. And I want to show the reason that you might say, Phil, they got breasts in their picture. Because I want to show people the nature and the science of us in our original peaceful state away from Europeans. These women ain't over here getting raped, sexually objectified, none of that. They can walk outside with their breast out. You know why? Because it's natural. Because niggas is in their higher self. Over here, you can't even have full clothes on without getting sexually objectified. They done fired the one goddamn teacher. Y'all seen it. What was her name? Miss Teacher Bay. Fired her. She was fully clothed. But she could walk around, all of them could walk around with their breast out because they're respected as being the creators of the planet Earth. You don't walk up to your dog and say, put some clothes on, nigga, your ass out. No. That's the natural form of the dog. So, once again, we have to shed the limitations the Caucasian has put on us in regards to our own women. We'll call a black woman a hoe so fast because the skirt this big. Where did you walk? So is she a hoe? Because her titties is out, full fledged. So you ain't even got to try to see. You can see. So we have to understand where the disharmony in the community comes from. It comes from we're living according to Europeans. If I take my shirt off right now and get this lecture, niggas gonna be like, man, that nigga had no shirt on. That shit was inappropriate. No, it's not. I was born like that. So we gotta understand, with information comes maturity by default. The reason niggas is immature because they don't know shit. They're dealing with nigga science. Only thing niggas know is Hillary Clinton didn't want to move her seat. That's all niggas know. Niggas don't know this. And this is what we need to know because this is what makes us powerful. And this is what makes it impossible for you to be lied to. Now let me keep it kicking, family. The black woman manifests everybody on the planet Earth. This little thing in my way. Alright. Black woman manifests everybody on the planet Earth. She manifests all vehicles, melanated vehicles. Now we have to deal with what inhabits the melanated vehicle, which is your soul. So first of all, we want to say, what is a soul? Because a lot of people say, I have a soul, but motherfuckers cannot describe their own soul. Your soul is just a piece of the solar charge of the sun. So if I have if I have a fire and the fire, the flame grows and it bursts and the little sparks that fly off the flame is your soul. But the center flame is where all of our individual souls come from. So this would be what you call the omnipresent etheric intelligence in the cosmos. We are all just individual extensions of that. So you are not separate from the creator. You are just an individual manifestation of the creator. So I like to give this analogy. Is a wave not still water? Yes, it's still water. It's just hitting the ocean and coming back. Just because the whole goddamn ocean ain't waving on the goddamn shore, that don't mean the wave is separate from the ocean. So we are just individual waves. And us washing up on the sand is symbolic to life, and us being pulled back is us symbolic to being returned to the source. And waves continue to wash up and go back. This is just the process of reincarnation right in your face. So we got to stop thinking that we're separate from God. Religion comes from the Latin word religiore, which means to bind. So religion actually binds your soul to that philosophy. And white people gave us religion in order to disconnect us from this original understanding that we had. Now why is this important? Because religion says that you need to get closer to God. But to insinuate I need to get closer to God is insinuating that I'm not close to God already. So why would I not be close to God already if melanin can condense sunlight and the sun is actually voice activated? Wouldn't that mean that God is intelligent, actually meant on purpose for me to be here? So we was meant for, the same way you draw a picture and you say I want the head to look like this, is the same way the universe said I want black people to look like this. And that's the point of this lecture, to show you your divinity, which was intellectually predicated upon the intent of the universe, not by no accident, not by no goddamn Big Bang thing. Now with that being said, souls. How do souls inhabit melanated bodies, right? Because you got your body now. And what your soul does, before I go into this science, I'm going to give y'all another science that's not even on here, but I'm going to just try to throw as much information to y'all as I can. You are a photon. Now your body, which is matter, which I'll be going into, and then your soul is antimatter. Remember, or your ether body as they call it. Remember, a photon is not a proton. A photon is pure light. It's at the tip end of a sun ray. Now a photon is just antimatter and matter coming together. Your body is just matter, your soul is the antimatter which inhabits it. Now, upon birth, the first thing developed is the nervous system. After the heart, because the heart powers the nervous system. So, a photon actually takes a seat in the 33rd vertebrae of the spine and begins to perceive and digest light. Now, what happens is, everything in this room right now is not actually here. Now, I know that sounds like some crazy shit, but I can prove it. Now, we live in what you call the holographic universe. The only reason we see or feel or perceive is because through our skin we can absorb sound. Because remember, everything is sound. So with that being said, you see, this is the process of seeing or vision. Everything that's physical, all physical objects or all tangible materials give off light. No matter how big, you can, even that black camera back there, even though it's black, that's giving off light. Because if it wasn't, you wouldn't be able to see it. Now what happens is you digest these light particles from all objects, including the sun. So sunlight comes through the pupils of your eye, travels to the back of the eye, hits what's called the retina. And there is converted to electromagnetic currents, which travel through what is called optic nerves to the center of the back of your brain, which is called the center of vision. And from there, that light is refracted, because light comes in your eyes at an angle, and then it bounces back at the opposite angle, which makes it a 90 degrees. It comes in at 45 degrees and is refracted back out at 45 degrees, which brings it to 90. So with that being said, everything you see is actually light being projected back out of your eyes and being processed by your thought, being analyzed by your thought process, and you see what you think you see. So this body is like your avatar. You ever see that movie Avatar, where the white man be projecting his consciousness into the blue Indian looking thing? That's exactly what we all doing here today. We all just souls inside of an avatar having the experience that we think we motherfucking having. So with that being said, this when we talk about being immortal, that's how you know you're immortal, once you really know who the fuck you is. You can't kill light. You can't kill electricity. It permeates the universe. So when we say reincarnation, re means to re-enter, enter. Your car, nation is what you give birth to. Go look up the etymology of the word. Reincarnation is just the electrical conduit, which is you re-entering another physical car to build a nation predicated upon what the fuck you think. Simple. It's that simple. It ain't no spooky shit, I promise. It's simple. So we're dealing with how do souls inhabit these melanated bodies. Souls travel and reincarnate through the sun. Each star is a sun, and each sun is a portal to another physical reality, which is different and determined by the size of the sun in each solar system, as I broke down. You find a sun that's 100 times bigger than ours, you got to amplify them spectrums of light by 100. You don't know what the fuck is over there. So, there are infinite galaxies, which means there are infinite physical experiences you can have. So if you're a soul, you can reincarnate. You don't know how many times you can reincarnate, because the universe is infinite. It's new shit coming out the womb of the universe every goddamn day. You want to be a giant, take your ass over there. Everybody giants over there, because the sun is this big. So when we're dealing with physical experience, you don't know how many times you've lived. This is why they say, some people say you're an old soul. Motherfuckers, you've been here before. This ain't your first time. This is why don't nobody want to. This is why kids don't pay attention to school. How many times you gonna tell this motherfucker Christopher Columbus discovered America? This is 7th reincarnation. You don't want to hear that shit no more. I'm being real. I'm being real. How many times you gonna tell Lil Ray Ray, God damn it, Abraham Lincoln freed the slave? The nigga was a slave at that time. You don't want to hear that shit. So we gotta understand the science. We gotta understand the science of us, because only we can teach us, family. It's our goddamn job. Now that being said, before inhabiting a melanated body, souls use the zodiac to guide them as they travel the astral plane in order to reincarnate. We can tell which path the soul took to get here by knowing their zodiac sign. This is because the traits of each star system are picked up and stored within the first chakra of each soul as they pass through or by the constellations and planets. Now, let me give y'all an example. I like to talk to the people on the people level. Men, you know not to be hugging up on a girl you cheating. You know why? Because when you go home, you're going to smell like perfume. You're going to be carrying the energies that you was just dealing with. Same thing with your zodiac sign. We know where you came from because your soul is still storing those energies in its ethereal self on its way here. I'm a Virgo. So that means one of two things. I came from the Virgo constellation, or I passed by the goddamn Virgo constellation to get here. And all of those energies help to make up the majority or the totality of my psychological influence, because your zodiac is just what influences you psychologically. So with that being said, everybody in here, whether you're Cancer, Sagittarius, Aries, I don't know what you are, you know what you are. That is how you pinpoint your area of influence or your last level of reincarnation. So this is what the CIA do. When they said there will never be another Messiah, why do you think they record your birthday? So they know who the fuck you is. They know who they dealing with. Oh, that nigga was born at 3/14 Friday. Come up in that family. Fuck that up. Fuck that up. They know what they doing. This shit is not by no coincidence, man. White people is not watching the goddamn stars all day with billion-dollar telescopes to be letting niggas reincarnate and uplift the consciousness of the... That's not happening. They knew you was coming, but you can't. They knew you was coming. That's why they put crack in the black community at the time they did. If you study the conjunction, the planetary conjunctions of where they were, a whole lot of messiahs were supposed to come through. They did. They just came through half-ass. Malcolm X, he came through, got caught up in Islam. Mukhali Muhammad came through, caught up in Islam. They had that religion waiting for them. But they know what this is spiritual warfare, baby. This is deeper than police brutality. Y'all gotta know who y'all fucking with, because they know who they fucking with. So, keeping it kicking, family. Okay. How are melanated souls born? Because I broke down where the body comes from. Hands down. Now I'm going to tell you where your soul comes from. Because you might say, Pharaoh, how is my soul traveling the universe? And you got immature niggas. Tell us where the soul come from then. Don't worry, I can. Now remember I gave y'all that analogy of you got the flame and you got the little sparks that come off the flame. This is the flame. Now when they say the universe is a womb, that is what they talking about. Don't that look like a womb? That's what the center of apples look like. Oranges look, everything in nature looks just like that. Now, science has different terms for the shit that we like to apply. We say aura, science says electromagnetic energy field. We say air, science says oxygen. We say the cosmic womb, science says intergalactic plasmic wormhole. So with that being said, this is, in science we just call it plasmic wormhole. Go home and study this and research this up. Shit comes out of this. All kind of shit. I don't even know all the shit that come out of this. I just know what I need to know comes out of this at this particular time. But when you see astrologers talking about a word, it just popped up, we don't know where it came from, this is what they're talking about. The universe is constantly giving birth to galaxies, Milky Ways. I don't know what the fuck else is giving birth. It's giving birth to something right now. So with that being said, this is what they're talking about. Now out of this is where your individual electrical frequency is manifested. So when you're talking about I'm trying to get back closer to God, this is what God is. The womb of the universe. And you are connected or closer to this through your levels of your chakras. I don't know how many of y'all see that video I did on my channel called 7 Levels of Existence. If y'all never seen it, go see it. So with that being said, you see the top wave is newborn souls. The bottom wave is returning souls. Over here you have the Milky Way galaxy. Now this red point right here is our solar system. Y'all see that? So you came out of the womb, and this is just our Milky Way galaxy. This is the 18th galaxy. On here, what you don't see, what's not on here, is other galaxies. So you don't know how many motherfucking other galaxies you done went through just to bring your ass here. Let alone all the solar systems that's located in this Milky Way galaxy. So let me give y'all an example of how the solar system works. You got a block, and you got all these houses. And different people live in these houses, and they got different beliefs and different shit, and they look different, different size, they eat different shit, they dress different. It's just a whole lot of different variety of life on one block. Imagine a solar system. This little folky ass dot is ours. All this other shit is way more solar system. So you have different varieties of life that's predicated and ruled by different velocities of different sun. So you don't know what the fuck you was your last life before you came here, unless your meditation game that nice. But with that being said, this is where souls come from, family. So once you leave out of the plasmic wormhole, okay, boom, this is the plasmic wormhole down here. This green. Y'all see where the laser pointer at? Am I blocking anybody over here? Yeah. Okay, my bad. Let me get out your way. Let me block somebody over here now. Balance it out. Balance it out. All right. So over here is the plasmic wormhole. Now your soul leaves out of there, and it travels along these magnetic fields. Because remember, you're just an electrical current. And as it's traveling, it's going through galaxies, Milky Ways, stars, suns, Earth. Now the sun is a portal. Now, if you don't believe me, believe the white man. Go look it up. This shit just happened like 4 months ago. These motherfuckers at NASA watched some shit come out of the sun and go back in the motherfucker. Now, last time we checked on nigga science, you couldn't get too close to the sun without getting incinerated. That's what nigga science said. But according to reality, shit is coming out and going in the motherfucker. So, with that being said, due to my extensive research on the sun, without me going into too much, the sun is a portal. And each star is a portal. So if you want to go to the, let's say the 19th galaxy, you got to go through the sun. And the pyramids is actually meditation chambers, which helps you project your consciousness through each portal. So for those of you who don't know about the pyramids of Giza, the goddamn King's Chamber was made out of alabaster. Now for niggas who like music, you should know what alabaster is. It helps to amplify acoustic sound. And the goddamn, it's like a little narrow space that's 45 degrees out to King's Chamber of the pyramid that lines up exactly with Orion's belt. So when niggas want to talk about planet risk and the three suns is Orion's belt. And actually, with this, because the pyramids is made out of granite, and granite conducts photons and electricity, and it amplifies it. Plus the acoustic material that the room is made out of amplifies it. And then they tell you that the pharaohs was buried in sarcophaguses. Those were not coffins. Those were meditation chambers, also made out of acoustics. So what they did was they lined the goddamn meditation chamber up exactly 45 degrees with the little narrow passway that the photons emitted by all three stars, lined up with, and all of the narrow rays of light, all three of those become one. Once they pass through the little passageway, I gotta get the name of it again, but once they pass through the passageway, and when you in the meditation chamber, it hits you directly in your pineal gland, and you can project your consciousness through the goddamn gold capstone of the pyramid to the 19th galaxy. If you don't believe me, I really don't give a fuck, because it's the truth. Now with that being said, I'm not here for your opinion. You've been dealing with niggas' opinions too long. Nigga, it's the truth. Now with that being said, the Queen's Chamber and the pyramid did the same thing, except it was lined up with the Pleiades constellation. So when niggas keep talking about Pleiadians is white, no the fuck they not. No. But staying off that, the Queen's Chamber did the exact same thing that the Pharaoh's Bel's Chamber did, except it went to another star system. Because they knew the science of this, family. They knew this. That's why they built shit. And that's why niggas can't even pay their child support. Because we don't know the science of this. We deal with the science of the European. When we get back to the science of this, we'll start building megalithic structures that last 20, 30, 40,000 years again on this planet. So, your soul comes out of the wormhole, travels along this electromagnetic grid, you reincarnate, you go to galaxies, Milky Ways, but you access these different, let's say, star systems through the stars. And depending upon your frequency, determine which star you come out of. Now, everybody is on 186,000 miles per second light frequency, so we all coming through the sun to come to Earth for whatever goddamn reason we came here. I don't know why you would want to come to a planet of white people, except to clean it up. So with that being said, why we not cleaning it up? Because I know you ain't come here to have fun. Because it's shit. Surprise. Surprise. It ain't fun. So that's what I would assume the majority of us came. I know what I came to do. I don't know. Y'all niggas might have came to buy Jordans and shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all might have came across the galaxy because y'all heard the 13s was coming back out. So y'all traveled y'all motherfucking ass across the galaxy to get some shit. I don't know. I can't speak for other niggas. I know what I came for. So that being said, understand the sacred science of being an African spirit in an African body. Okay. Then you ain't going haywire. Okay. Now I showed this slide yesterday. How are melanated bodies connected to the universe? Now, you get your soul from the sun, you get your body from the planets. I believe I explained both them points without a doubt. So we're going to go to my next point. The chakras keep your soul connected to its higher self, which is shown in the next slide. Now, all of these, let's say, points of reference in regards to the planets and what they do to different body systems comes out of this book that I referenced called Making Sense of Astrology by Tim Traction. Now that book was $30. And I see y'all getting ready to write it down now. I want to let y'all know this, but you be so fast to write it down. Ever since I referred that book, they made, it's $3,000 now? It's $1,200 now when I seen it. So they jacked that motherfucker up. They said, niggas want this book? Hike it up. Hike it up. So, and all I did was reference it. All I did was say, everybody, y'all should read this book called Making Sense of Astrology. Wow. Nigga, you can't afford the book no more. It's pay your rent and your condo or get the damn book. Goddamn. So, one thing we know is that the book gotta contain some truth if they don't want niggas to have it. And for two, that's my reference for this understanding that I'm getting out of this book. Now you see the man got the sun at his solar plexus. Your solar plexus. that is the seat of your soul. That's why when you get hit right there, that motherfucker feel like your soul jumped out your chest. That's because it did. A nigga literally knocked your motherfucking soul out and you had to come back. Like, oh shit. We got uncles. Black man, I've been hit. I got hit right there when I was 6. I was like, whoo. I was the deepest breath I ever motherfucking took. I was breathing in for like 8 seconds, trying to catch the breath that I'm trying to catch. And the motherfucker finally came back and I said, never again. So that being said, you got your solar plexus, you got the soles of your hands, and you got the soles of your feet. Now, these do not have the abbreviative, transliterative word in the beginning being soul for no reason. This is because at these 3 points of your body is where your body actually conducts the most solar energy. Period. That's why the palms of your hand and your feet is always light, because it's constant electricity flowing through them. That's why they're not dark. And all of that electricity meets at the solar plexus. Y'all follow me? Now, the sun is literally connected to and helps regulate your heart, eyes, and blood circulation. Y'all follow me? If that motherfucker, go back to solar paralysis, you think I'm playing. Even when I broke down the science of how you see the holographic universe, it's predicated upon light, the sun. Now, the moon helps to regulate your stomach and your uterus. This is why a lot of women can pinpoint exactly when the period coming, predicated upon the moon cycle. The planet Mercury helps to regulate your nervous system, brain, and your speech, as well as your organs. Mercury has to deal with communication. Your brain and your nervous system also has to deal with communication. Follow me? The planet Venus has to deal with your organs of smell and touch. The planet Mars has to deal with your muscular system and your genitals. That's why they call God, the planet Mars, the god of war. War is a part of being in your lower self. It's not necessarily bad, but it's just an aspect of being in your lower self. That's why when niggas get mad, you want to flex up and pump your little chest out. Your muscles and your genitals. Now, planet Jupiter helps control your liver and your lungs. Planet Saturn helps control your bones and your skin. Planet Uranus helps control your pineal gland. Planet Neptune helps to control your and influence your ethereal body. And planet Pluto helps you during what they call death. I just call it life cycle change. So the planets are actually aiding you. Now when you want to talk about being in a melanated body and being a God, the first thing you will motherfucking say, the world don't revolve around you. Why it don't? Why it don't? Now you might say, Bill, that's arrogant. No, it's not. Trees have one job. Not one job, but one major job. To take my carbon dioxide and turn it back into oxygen so that I can breathe. Water is here so that I can wash up. Not so it can wash up. Fire is here so I can cook. Not so fire can cook. Everything on the planet Earth is in service to you. It do revolve around you. Even the goddamn planets is in service to you. You are the physical manifestation of all of these things. So with that being said, why are we not utilizing it for one? And for two, why is we letting the European just trash the motherfucker? The planet Earth been putting in work for you since you've been here. That motherfucker been cooking, and we gonna say cooking, because we understand the value of a good cooked meal. You don't want no Hot Pocket on Thanksgiving, that's disrespectful. Disrespectful. We don't celebrate Thanksgiving, we gonna go there because that's what niggas do. You come to your grandma's house, you come to your woman's house on Thanksgiving, she got some Hot Pockets, relationship is over. So now with that being said, why do we not have the same love for our planet? This planet been providing you the life force as we know it, oxygen. It's been producing fruits and vegetables. Okay, there would be no Dr. Savior if it wasn't for Mother Earth. So how is we so ignorant to the condition of Mother Earth? Niggas probably do some trash on the ground on the way in this bitch. You ain't gotta raise your hand, just know if you did, you wrong. Alright? So why is we so ignorant to that which is its entire life objective is to sustain you? Because we have an incorrect perspective on who we are, and we gotta get back to that, and that's the point of this lecture as I stated. Now, keeping it kicking. Alright. How are melanated bodies connected to the universe, part 2? Remember I broke down the science of the electromagnetic spectrum and each octave of the sun predicated to the middle part of the spectrum, known as the visible light spectrum. Now y'all see how, remember I said the first level of existence is the color red, and as it goes up, it goes to the color purple. If y'all look at this chakra man, right here, where I'm pointing at, this is the same color of your chakras. The lowest aspect of you is red, then it goes orange, yellow, green, baby blue, navy blue, purple. So you're hooked up, all of this shit I just named, solar system, planets, you're hooked up to all of that through the chakras. Once again, chakras are just energy vortex centers in the body which input and output information. Simple. So when we say meditate and get yourself together, this is not because it sounds cute. It's because you want to be as in tune with the universe as you possibly can. You're not going to get, if you play guitar, your damn E string is fucked up. You're not going to do that. You're going to tune it. Now, for those of you who even use a tuner on the guitar, pay attention. Because when your guitar is bad, it's in the red, and when it's good, it's in the purple. It's still the colors of the chakras, the colors of the rainbow. Acidic food, alkaline diet. Acidic is red, alkaline is purple. It's the colors of the rainbow. So certain food puts you in different frequencies of yourself. This is not no hocus pocus shit. This is science that white people understand, and they've been busting our ass because we ain't understood it until today. Period. Let's keep it kicking. Let me turn this. See, I'm not going to play with it, family. I'm going to bring that heat. I'm going to bring that heat when it comes to this information. Okay. Now remember I broke down the science of our melanin versus plant melanin. Now, hemoglobin, right? How our melanated body is connected to the universe, part 3. This is called human hemoglobin. And plants is called chlorophyll. Now, hemoglobin is a protein molecule in red blood cells that carries oxygen to the lungs. Oxygen from the lungs to the body's tissues and returns carbon dioxide from the tissues back to the lungs. Hemoglobin is made up of 4 protein molecules, which is, let me pull up on this, that are connected together. Now here go the protein molecules. You got carbon, 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 C, oxygen. All of these little letters right here, family, when y'all looking at them, these are just chemical elements that appear on the chemical elements table chart. So you got nitrogen, carbon, oxygen, and then in the middle you see Fe. Now Fe is the periodic elements table chart sign for iron, right? And then in the middle, when you see a plant, it got the same thing: carbon, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen. Then they got Mg. Mg is just the abbreviation for magnesium. So if you was to take magnesium out the middle of this green plant cell and switch it with the iron that's in the middle of this red blood cell, we would become chlorophyll and they would become us. So we are interconnected biologically, not just spiritually, to all things in nature. Let's keep it kicking. All right. How powerful are melanated souls? Now, this right here, family, they got a new camera, right, that they use in what they call aura scan photography, where they can take a picture of your goddamn aura. So, just like how the military got heat-seeking thermal goggles, they got shit that'll take a picture of your soul and tell you if you're healthy or not. So all they're doing is using technology to do what we was already doing naturally and spiritually. And when we do it, they call it voodoo and all of the other negative things they want to label it. But then when they do it, they call it modern science and advanced technology. So what is called aura scan photography, scientists are able to capture and measure the distance and health of a human's biofield. In science, they call it your biofield or your electromagnetic energy field. We call it the aura. Now, this is a picture of somebody's aura. Now, we know that green, baby blue, that tends to be healthy. Had this aura been red, we would know that this is a very healthy, unhealthy person who is either eating unhealthy, thinking unhealthy, or just doing some shit that they ain't got no business doing. Now, with that being said, when we want to understand, come on, me and this laptop about to fight now. With that being said, family, when we want to deal with the biofield, because we can prove that it's there, whether we want to be spiritual or scientific, both can prove that the biofield or the aura exists. We want to deal with how powerful the human aura is. You have to understand they have what is called an electrosomnographic scanning. And using what is called the electrosomnographic scanning technique, they can actually measure the distance of your soul. They can tell you how far your motherfucking soul reaches. So when people feel like you got people that have auras, like if a negative ass person come in this room, they don't even gotta say nothing. We can just look at him and be like, girl, watch your purse. That nigga might go in that motherfucker. Like, I'm telling you, you just know. But sometimes it's not, it's not about just, the unexplained is already explained. We are all energetically connected. The energy that I carry, I don't have to say nothing to you. You know what type, you can be at the bus stop with me and be like, let me scoot over here, because this motherfucker's crazy. I don't have to say nothing. It's my energy. Now, this is from the aura. Now, using the electromagnetic scanner, the electrosomnographic scanner, it hooks up to you the same way a lie detector hooks up. and they can measure your soul in range from nanometers to miles. Now, let me give y'all the science on how powerful it is to be black, okay? Even if, I don't care if you're shooting dope, you still more powerful than 12 white men, full grown. Let me give y'all the science. A black person's soul, at a minimum, has a reach of 1 mile. That means niggas feel me right now 1 mile up the street, a minimum. Everybody in this room, they feel us 1 mile up the street, a minimum. We have a maximum reach, so they say, maximum, so they say, of 3,100 miles. Now let me give y'all the science. That's one adult black person. One adult white person only has a reach from 400 nanometers to 700 nanometers. Now why is this important? There is approximately, I want to say, 160 trillion nanometers in 1 mile. So if you do the math on that, it takes 12 adult white people to equal the aura of one adult black person that's eating pork, smoking crack, and whatever else he's doing. That's called his electromagnetic field to be 1 mile. So with that being said, this is why white people get uncomfortable when you go in a room full of white people and don't say shit. When you get in the elevator, white people, when they get to doing their little whispering, this is why. Because they feeling that energy. Now, melanin is condensed sunlight, and it is proven fact that on a subatomic level, we give off UV rays. UV rays is what give white people cancer. So this is why white people are so uncomfortable around black people and they don't know the fuck why. I'm giving you the science. So every time I see white people, I just want to just do some Dragon Ball Z shit and charge up. Because every time I'm in the elevator, I just be right in that bitch. Go Goku on their ass. So with that being said, technology and Western diets are used to keep blacks vibrating low. Because in our most powerful states, blacks give off UV ray wavelengths from our auras, which give whites cancer. This is why white people become unconsciously uncomfortable within the presence of melanated people. Our vibrations are also raised through intelligence as well, which is a fact. The more you read, reading is like lifting weights for your brain. Now with that being said, the megahertz in the brain are raised through levels of intelligence. The more intelligent the person is, the more powerful the soul is. Thus, this is why white people use white supremacy to control the minds of melanated people. So, I'm not 500 pounds, but when I walk in the room, people respect my shit. Why? Because my mind. You don't respect stupid ass people. Why? Because they mind. I'm not being biased, it's just the truth. You see that you got one cousin that's always doing some dumb shit, you go, oh, here come Earl. Oh shit. All right, Earl. Every time Earl says something, you be like, okay. All right. You don't feel their spirit. Because the megahertz frequency of their brain is not amplifying their biofield. People that's intelligent, you respect their shit. Period. So with that being said, this is why. This is why niggas is scared of a strong black woman. Or they disrespect them like that. Niggas get up because your aura is overpowering theirs and niggas don't know what that is, so they feel uncomfortable. Same vice versa. Some women mistake black men as being over masculine. We're not over masculine. My aura is just overpowering yours and you don't understand what's happening. So we both gonna have to get some intelligence so that we can meet each other energetically. If not, we're gonna keep egotistically fighting because we don't understand what's spiritually happening. And white people bully us energetically all the time. Because you might go for a job interview and that motherfucker look at you and say, why do you want this job? Where did you go up? And niggas you be stuck because you already allow him to psychologically presume the seat of intelligence over you, so he's dominating you on an energetic level. Period. Because I don't know if y'all know, I'm gonna give y'all some juice. I don't know, I think one of these fuck boys, excuse my language, from the I'm a Rock squad tried to get me jammed up. So they sent my YouTube of me being out of town to my parole office. So I go to parole, this is like 3 days ago, but I'm thugging, and these record labels know that. So I go to, just how I'm up here, this is how I go to parole. Big my shirt might say Black Power in this bitch. I'm in there. So that being said, my PO tried to, as soon as I came in, she said, so, white people are not humans, huh? I looked at that bitch dead in the eye. Promise you, I said, no, you're not. Just like that. Just like that. Just like that. So I'm showing you, she tried to energetically press me. And I hit her ass with the Hadouken back the fuck up. So, long story short, she said, oh, I would love to know why. Da-da-da. I killed her. No. Woo! Killed her. First of all, you're genetically engineered. I crushed her. I ain't even cursed. I flexed her straight. Her ass is so red. And then she tried to say, so white people don't have a soul, huh? I said, nope. Bust her down. Melanins get this sunlight. Y'all don't have a soul. I crushed her. I felt like I could have told her, sign me off for all. I don't want to be over here no more. I fucked her up. But this is going to show y'all. And the person who has the intellectual platform wins energetically. We are fearful because we're not intelligent. The president, Hillary Clinton, could come in this bitch and I will flex her ass because I know I'm smarter than her. So my aura is greater than her. What makes a king and a queen great is not their might, it's their mind. Now if you got the might behind it, nigga, go goes for you. But it's your mind, man. That's why they respect genius. Einstein will always be more valuable than Mike Tyson. Because Mike Tyson will beat your ass, but he can't heal you after he beats your ass. Einstein can't beat your ass, but he will heal you. So with that being said, I'm just giving that example to let y'all know the aura. Alright? I could look my parole officer in the face and tell her, you ain't no motherfucking human. Dead in her eyes. Now literally, she know I've been waiting to do that all my life. Look one of you motherfuckers in your face and tell you what I really feel. So with that being said, well, you don't write my check, fuck you. You ain't no human. Don't ask me shit else because I'm going to go harder next time. So, with that being said, you're bringing this to a close, this slide. Your energy field is predicated upon your level of intelligence. That's what gives you confidence. So, when we're dealing with the biofield or the aura of African people, it can be measured. In us at our weakest state, it still takes 12 adult Europeans to equal that of a low vibrating African person. So for you to be at 1 mile, I'm giving y'all the science again if I go next slide. You gotta be eating McDonald's, smoking crack, drinking 40 ounces, and watching Love and Hip Hop.
What if you only watch Love and Hip Hop?
For you to be at 1 mile, you gotta be doing, because Love and Hip Hop, I'm telling you, Love and Hip Hop gonna fuck you up. You could be at 1,000 miles. Love and Hip Hop gonna take you to about 60. It's gonna get you there. So, with that being said, family, you gotta understand the science. Okay. Now, what keeps melanated souls and bodies unhealthy? Part 1, right? Meat is acidic and lowers the spiritual level of vibration. It takes us to the red part of the pH scale, which is our lower cells. It is no coincidence that the pH scale is the color of the chakras. pH literally means potential of hydrogen. Now we know, even in nigga science, we know that everything is made up of water. That's nigga science 101. So with that being said, your body is made up of hydrogen. Why? Because water is the #1 conductor of electricity. Your soul is an electrical charge. Period. Now with that being said, hydrogen water, which is the number one conductor of electricity. Our bones are 85% hydrogen water, and alkaline foods electrify our bodies by raising our spiritual frequencies. Remember, in our most powerful states, we give whites cancer. The Western diet was forced upon us to keep us vibrating low. Now let me give y'all the sacred science that niggas don't want to give y'all. Niggas want to keep talking about slavery and ignore the metaphysical part of slavery. Now if you don't know, you could not be a slave master unless you was a mason. This is a fact. I don't want to hear nigga masons in here trying to defend masonry because you joined some shit that you ain't got no business being a part of. I don't want to hear that. That's not what I want to hear. I hate when niggas, I'm a mason, we don't do that in our lodge. Nigga, you ain't the real lodge. You the fake copycat lodge. Go in the real lodge. You ain't in there with Hillary and what they doing. Because nigga, you wouldn't be a mason no more if you was. Now that being said, you literally couldn't be a slave master unless you was a mason. You know why? Because masons understand the science of African people in order to oppress African people. You have to study the lion before you become one of them damn trainers of a lion in a circus. You have to be able to break the psychology of a lion. So that being said, in order to be a slave master, you have to know how to break the psychology of an African person. So slave masters knew all of this shit. Don't get it twisted. Do not get it twisted. Do not think it was them white motherfuckers that you see on TV on swamp people. Talking about we got a goddamn gator. Those was not slave masters. I'm telling you the truth. Those was not slave masters. It was intelligent ass white people who might have had that accent, but they knew what the fuck they was doing. And they started force feeding African people pork. Immediately on the slave ships. You have motherfuckers throwing up to death on the slave ships. Now why would you do that? Let me give you science, hold that thought. Do y'all know exactly how far it is to travel from Africa to North America? 9,000 miles. Remember, 9 is the number born. America is underneath a different spectrum of light than Africa. So they took you to another level of density, another level of reality, which automatically threw you in a certain level of your chakras, which was in your lower self. And then they force-fed your ass food that does not grow underneath the spectrum of light that you're originally used to eating. Okay, y'all follow me? So with that being said, now we're going to give you meat. Bam! And but the meat going to put you in your animal self. So now once I get you in your animal self, now psychologically, your thoughts will conduct on that frequency. So with that being said, when you look at the chakras, or this chakra man in the middle, red is the lowest chakra. Meat is acidic, that's the lowest chakra. When you say, damn, black people in the black community act like motherfucking animals, that's because they eat animals. It is a statistical fact that niggas go to jail for murder, 80% minimum are on a meat diet. Vegans ain't killing motherfuckers. I'm telling you the truth. Niggas is not in trial for murder, for eating salads. No, niggas is. Niggas is eating steak subs and doing drive-by. Niggas ain't like, nigga, after I finish this cucumber, I'm gonna blow that nigga in. Hold on, bro, pass me that motherfucking towel. I'm gonna clap that nigga. Niggas ain't doing that. You know why? Because for you to be intelligent enough to even be a vegan shows that you care about yourself. I'm being serious here. So the reason they put us on this acidic diet was to put us at our lowest level of consciousness so that we could be manipulated. You follow me? So that was the science behind slavery. Because white people, niggas act like white people already didn't have an entire continent that they was running. Or a country, they was running Europe. Why they didn't take niggas to Europe? Why did you, see when white people came over here, they didn't run in this land. They had slaves on their back and had to kill niggas over here just to set up shop. So why did you go through all that trouble to bring niggas over here when you could have took us to Russia, Europe, you could have took us anywhere where wouldn't even been no resistance on the land. You knew that you had to bring niggas over here in order to get us on that frequency. Period. Now, keeping it kicking, family. Keeping it moving. Okay. What keeps a melanated body healthy and soul healthy? What keeps a melanated soul and body healthy, part 2? Okay. Now, in the book written by Dr. Robert O. Becker, who's an alleged medical doctor. In his book, it's called The Body Electric. Y'all write it down. The Body Electric by Robert O. Becker. Now, in this book, he gives you, let's say, individual frequencies of the human body and how it interacts with foods. Now, I'm going to hit the important points. I'm not going to read all of this because some of it's just jibber jabber. I just gave y'all the screenshots of what's in the book. I'm going to go right to the juice. Now, the human body, right? A genius. A genius. If you don't know what a genius is someone who's able to tap into their cellular memory and manifest information at a certain extent, which is further than you. So, for example, we can walk up to an ancient temple and it could be a circle on the wall. And a genius will be able to say, this circle means this and it goes right here. And it'll be right. And nobody knows how he knows. Because he's able to tap into his genetic memory bank. Because remember, information is passed down through the DNA. And he's able to recall what that previously meant, even though he wasn't physically there at that time, because the information is stored in his genes. You follow me? So it's a scientific fact that black people are natural born geniuses. Why? Because we have the most information in our DNA. So with that being said, a genius brain frequency is from 80 to 82 megahertz. The brain frequency range totally is from 72 to 90 megahertz. Now a normal brain frequency is 72 megahertz. The human body as a total is from 62 to 78 megahertz. The human body from the neck up is from 72 to 78 megahertz. The human body from the neck down is from 60 to 68 megahertz. Your thyroid and your parathyroid glands are from 62 to 68 megahertz. Your thymus gland is from 65 to 68 megahertz. Your heart is from 67 to 70 megahertz. Your lungs are from 58 to 65 megahertz. Your liver is from 55 to 60 megahertz. Your pancreas is from 60 to 68 megahertz. Now when Dr. Sebi say food can't exist on a certain frequency, and you hear me keep telling motherfuckers disease don't exist on a certain vibration, raise your frequency, here's the science behind that. Cold flus start from 57 to 60 megahertz. Y'all follow me? Now why is it important? The human body should be a minimum of 62 megahertz and 72 megahertz. So once you get under 62 megahertz, from about 61 to 57 megahertz, you become susceptible to catching the cold or getting the flu. Now, disease starts at 58 megahertz and below. Candida overgrowth specifically starts at 55 megahertz. You become receptive to Epstein-Barr at 52 megahertz. You become receptive to cancer at 42 megahertz. And death actually begins at 25 megahertz. So if you was to actually keep your body energetically vibrating at a certain level, you would never get a motherfucking disease. This is a fact. Look it up. They was going to Africa shooting Africans with AIDS, and the motherfuckers wasn't catching AIDS. And they were saying that people's diet was so healthy, plus the level of sunlight that they experienced every day wouldn't allow them to get a disease. They was immune to the motherfucking disease. So with that being said, you are a melanated God. You're supposed to be living for electrical charge, not for taste. I know the chicken nuggets taste good, but goddamn it ain't real. Goddamn. I know the motherfuckers say strawberry fruit snack, but it's not a strawberry. Goddamn, family. Goddamn. So we're supposed to be eating for electrical charge. Alkaline is just a word denoted to food which says this food has an alkaline charge. That's it. That's it, family. Now, moving on. Now that we have an understanding on the frequencies of the body, we want to go to this slide. How long does it take a melanated body to regenerate itself? Now we're talking about healing. Okay? How long does it take for most of the atoms in your body to be replaced by others? See, I'm going to the atoms with this shit. We ain't talking about you got a little scab on your arm. Nah, we're talking about your being. We're talking about the being that's running predicated upon your electrical charge that you call your soul. How long does that take to refresh itself? Here's the answers, family. Now, here's your human body. As you can see, the majority of it is water, as they say. About 72% of the human body is H2O, liquid water. Liquid water. Every 16 days, nearly 100% of that water is exchanged in a healthy body. Y'all follow me? Heavy elements like carbon, sodium, and potassium take occupancy far longer, perhaps about 8 to 11 months. For example, the calcium and phosphorus in bones are replaced in a dynamic crystal growth, dissolving process that will ultimately replace all the bones in your body. Okay, now, here is some demographics predicated upon science on different branches of your body and how long it takes for them to replace themselves. The lining in your stomach and intestine replaces itself every 4 days. Okay? The gums in your mouth are replaced every 2 weeks. Your skin is replaced every 4 weeks, every moon cycle. Your liver replaces itself every 6 weeks. The lining of your blood vessel replaces itself every 6 months. Your heart replaces itself every 6 months. Bet you didn't know that. The surface cells of your digestion and the top layers in the digestive process from our mouth through our large bowel are replaced every 5 minutes. Now this data was first pointed out by Dr. Paul C. Abersold in 1953 in a landmark paper he presented to the Smithsonian Institute titled Radioisotopes. Now, continuing on before I make my point. In about a year, every atom in your body would have been exchanged. Not a single atom in your body resides there forever. And there is 100% chance that thousands of other humans through history held some of the same atoms that you currently hold in your body today. Okay? So when they say you the ancestors coming back, motherfucker, you are the ancestors. Period. You are the ancestors. Now, just as fascinating is the fact that about 30% of your body by weight is not even you. Cells without human DNA/RNA, which means it's not even your DNA. Now, it is a cooperative arrangement of bacteria, viruses, and parasites and other welcomed or sometimes unwelcome guests. In fact, just in case of bacteria, there are 10 times more bacteria cells than human cells in the body. Okay, let's keep it kicking. This leaves one with perhaps a very large philosophical question. If every atom in your body is periodically replaced, who are we if we are not the atoms and we are not ourselves? So even white people were delving into the question of the soul, which we already know. You are the soul. Now let me make my point here. Okay, before I go into this. Your brain replaces itself every 60 days. So nobody in this room got the same brain that they had 6 months ago. So you can't be your body because you ain't even the same brain you don't even have the same brain you had 60 days ago, but you got the same memory. So with that being said, who are you? You are the soul, family. Now, why do I want to make this point? Because I just broke down the science of the alkaline diet. Your body replaces itself with the food that you eat. Nigga, all you eat is fruit roll-ups, nigga, you gonna have a fruit roll-up ass brain. Let's tell the truth. All you eat all day is motherfucking sunflower seeds and Kool-Aid. Drink Kool-Aid. And then you say, damn, what's wrong with these kids? What ain't wrong with them? On an atomic level, they motherfucking Kool-Aid and fruit snacks. You are what you eat. This ain't no spooky shit. The ancestors were saying they understood this. The atoms. That's why I'm going to the atom. We're not talking about a little scab on your arm. You get a little cut. We're talking about the shit that makes up your being. Replaces itself with the shit you eat and drink. And all niggas eat is garbage. Garbage. That's why all niggas act like it's garbage. Because that's all that's in your being. What the fuck? White people know what they doing to us, man. They know what they doing. That's why they don't expect you to be shit because they fed you shit all day. They expect you to act like animals because they fed you animals. They expect you niggas to act. They expect niggas to act out of control because they done fed you sugar all your fucking life. Think about this. If your brain replaces itself every 60 days, right? Multiply that 60 days by how many years your ass been living. And then multiply that by the bullshit you've been eating your whole life. And wonder why you got motherfuckers who lose their goddamn thought every time they think of something. Damn, I can't remember what the fuck I'm about to say. Nigga, that's because you got fruit roll up from 7 years ago in there, nigga. That's because you got fruit roll up in there, nigga. I'm being serious. And this is why fasting is important. Because fasting helps you to cleanse your atomic self. Okay? So we gotta understand, family, we gotta stop eating this bullshit. Not because we trying to be cute and just be conscious. See, I'm not with the conscious hip-hop shit. I don't do this shit because it look cute. I do this shit because that's what we supposed to be doing. So we're not telling people to eat vegan because it's cute. Because you take a girl on a date and say, yeah, I don't eat that. I eat tofu. I don't eat that. I don't eat meat. It's cute. No. We saying we don't eat that shit because I don't want to be that. So with that being said, we got to come back to why we do what we do because we knew we was gods. Just have that sight. Just go home today at night when you go to sleep and say, why did I do 80% of the shit I did today? Was it to better me? Because if it's not, you're not on your correct frequency. We do shit because we know we the God. I eat food that's vegan because I know I'm God. Not because it's cute. I don't wear European shit. You'll never see me wear no goddamn tuxedo or no goddamn president suit. Because I know I'm not a European. I know I'm the God. You're going to see me rocking this You're not going to see me rocking no goddamn Gucci. Or no goddamn True Religion jeans or none of that shit made by the European because I know I'm the God. So black people got to go back to doing things because we know we are the God. But we don't know because we haven't even got 10% of the information that I've given in this lecture. Let alone the whole goddamn lecture I've been given. So we have to get back to this understanding of being cosmic beings so we start doing cosmic shit. Now, melanated bodies are perfect in proportions. Y'all follow me? Okay. As seen on the Egyptian Assyrian temple, what is depicted as the flower of life is the golden ratio in which all things cosmically and physically are manifested. This divine proportion is mathematically recorded as phi, not pi, phi, which is 1.618. Now, when you add up all them numbers, it equals 7. 7 is the numerical number of generation. Every 7 years, all the atoms in your entire body replace itself. Every year, you live in a different aspect of your chakras. Once you get to the 7th year and go to the 8th, you start back over. I can go on and on about the cycles of 7. I'm not going to do that. Now, the flower of life is a recorded depiction of an atom which makes up all things in existence. Now, this depiction right here, where I'm walking over to, family, comes off the Egyptian walls of the Assyrian temple, which shows you the Egyptians knew about atoms. Okay? So this is not no shit I'm just making. I like to show y'all the modern reference and the ancient reference. Now this is an atom. This is what you call the flower of life. Now this is actually where the first cross comes from. So how many of y'all see the tree of life or that little thing that y'all, it looks like a structure and it be in the Kabbalah and all of that. All of that is energetic waves that are manifested evenly within the flower of life, and they touch one end of the atom to the other. So that's just your energetic signature. The tree of life is nothing more than your chakras. That's it. Anything else niggas is talking about that is, they don't know what the fuck they talking about. Now why is this important? Because an atom eventually forms a sound vibration, which forms a cross. Like a cross, not the cross that you think of with the long bottom, but an even cross, like a cross here that you're looking through a scope. And that became what you call the Coptic cross, and created the Coptic Christians. And the Coptic Christians took it without the proper understanding, and today it became the Christian cross. And niggas have an incorrect understanding of where the cross even came from. So I'm giving y'all the science right now. The cross comes from the last stage of an atom after its anatomical development once you are fully signaturized as an energy source. So that being said, you become split in 4 90-degree angles, which is 360 degrees of your being, and you have 12 different octaves of sound that you produce. So everything on this dimension, because remember, everything is subjected to light. Our light only provides 3 dimensions until now, which I'm getting ready to go into. So for the last 2,160 years, we've family. I can go right to the end. That's all I breathe that information. The sun has been emitting photonic particles that are hotter than it has previously been emitting for the last 2,160 years. Now, why is this important? The sun is actually right now hotter than it has ever been throughout recorded history. So the white man said. So the last 6,000 years that the white man has been recording the temperature of the sun, right now that bitch is hotter than he's ever